Coming up next, from the father of the modern zombie movie, George Romero, All Guts So Gory presents Dawn of the Dead.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time. Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all times. Dawn of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead has ended. Dawn of the Dead is here. Get that room!
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
They must be destroyed on sight.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. Dawn of the Dead.
The mad and macabre.
Oh, what monster could have done this?
I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Live or die. Make your choice. Wake up, little girl.
Playtime's over.
We don't know what death is.
Sliced and diced.
All Guts So Gory. Right, let's get into this. So, Dawn of the Dead, 1978. Not the remake, the original. The sequel to Night of the Living Dead, both by George Romero.
Wait, I thought we were doing Day of the Dead.
I thought we were doing One of the Dead.
You guys need to stop doing that when we're recording, because
Wait,
I'm like, oh, all right, now we got to start over.
I watched 4 seasons of The Walking Dead for nothing.
Right.
In 3 nights.
I was wondering why you picked a Nick Cannon movie.
Right. I'm Charlie.
I'm Justin.
Mike, what's up?
Dawn of the Dead. In the top 10 for any serious horror fan. I mean, one of the... But let's get this part right out of the way, right from the beginning. It's a cult classic. It's a great movie, rewatchable. Like I said, it's on everyone's top 10 list, or should be if it's not. Script, horrible. Acting, even worse. Production, like $20 tops. I think they actually spent like $600-something thousand. I'll get to that later. But in $1978, I mean, I don't know where. Maybe it was to rent the mall.
For 1978, this was a good flick.
Like I said, I love this movie, but I mean, the script, the acting, the directing, the actors, it was all.
I don't know if I'm gonna hurt your feelings a little bit. I don't know if it's my top 10, Charlie.
Well,
but I do feel like it's a very important movie to go from like just blood and guts zombies to like, hey, we can tell a human story here too.
That's one of the things that frustrates me about this movie is that, George Romero movies all of his zombie movies are basically the same thing, like the folly of humanity. We're too materialistic. We, care more about stuff than people, and then we're going to be our own downfall, right? So in this movie, I feel like he went a little heavy-handed. They had those scenes where people are just, sitting around like, oh, do we really need this mall? Yeah, you need that mall. That's how you're going to survive when you're going to go fly that helicopter 200 miles and sit it down in a cornfield. And then what are you going to do? Man, I wish we were back at that mall.
Mall's a good shelter. There's a lot of resources. There's food.
That mall has everything.
Mall's got stuff that you need for zombie survival. Absolutely.
I think the thought experiment was, if you could have everything you ever needed, how long could you survive without other people, essentially, right? And I do want to go back and say, while it might not be on my top 10 list personally, I do feel like it is one of the top 10 most important horror films of all time. Just to,
Yeah. I mean, there were zombie movies in the 20s, 30s, 40s, but this was like, all right, your lame-ass zombies in your black and white with your, let's go get them, guys, is done. We're going to do what zombies really do. This zombie is going to make more zombies, and then it's going to come up and it's going to bite out your neck. And we're going to show you what it looks like when you get your neck bitten out.
Yeah. I think, for me, zombies have always been one of my least favorite subgenres of horror, just because of the fact that they're easy to get away from. They're Zombies are not smart. They're easy to kill. It's a shot to the head. It's not a slasher where you have a killer that's chasing you and it's just relentless and relentless and relentless. And when you think they're dead, they're really not. It's, there's no supernatural element to it. They're just, you shoot them in the head, or they're just going to stand on top of a box and get their head chopped off by a helicopter and kill themselves. But then when you get to other movies like Train to Busan, now the zombies are running. Now I'm like, oh, this is way more intense.
Yeah.
Like, really like this. This is 1978. It's a classic movie. I can see why it's so influential on other movies to come. But these older zombie movies, they're not like in my top 10, but like Justin said, I can see why they're so important.
I'm going to quote, I think it was Simon Pegg who said that he prefers the slower zombies because death should never be like a shot of adrenaline to the arm. It definitely should slow you down. The remake might be some people's favorite because it actually makes them faster and a lot more scary in the fact that...
Are you some people in this story you're telling?
I may be some people in the story. It takes away some of what George Romero, you mentioned it a little bit, but George Romero wants to remind us the whole time, these are people, these were your brothers, these were your sisters, these were your parents that are still resemble people, right?
Yeah.
When you make them fast, it's more about how scary is this creature that's coming at you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think later in the movie, you almost feel bad for the zombies when the bikers show up because the bikers are throwing pies at them and treating them like clowns and spraying them with water. And I'm kind of like, wait, what are we doing right now? But then it's like the zombies get hit with a pie or sprayed with water and they're like, oh no. And like all of a sudden they're not the villains in this movie anymore.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And so and they're like, oh yeah, they're,
they're
dead people, but
guess what's worse than zombies? Real people.
Real people.
Yeah.
Good point.
I think The Walking Dead pulled from George Romero a lot with it's like, hey, zombies are scary for sure. They're these things that will eat you. But what's worse are these people that are corrupted now that they don't have to follow the rules that everybody forced upon them.
Yeah. Movie tagline. A great one. What is it, Justin?
I'm going to paraphrase. You might have to come in and say
I got it written
but
down if you want to read it.
It's something along the lines of, when all of hell is full, then the dead will rise.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. You were close. You were there.
Now, last episode, Justin, you did an alternate tagline for The Thing, a couple of them. So I came up with one for this one, if you guys want to hear it.
Yep, let's do it.
It's, you'll never go to the mall again. Little play on Jaws, you'll never go into the water again, which was 3 years prior to this.
It's pretty good. And it's
Not
pretty
bad. Not as good.
I mean, we can workshop it.
It took me about 2 minutes to think of it, and then I moved on with the rest of my notes. But
it's also kind of sad because it's kind of true. I don't really go to the mall anymore.
No, nobody does.
I miss those days.
Right. So, in 1978, how old were you?
I was not quite born for another 3 years.
Nope. Same.
I was sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen table with my mom telling her sister the entire plot of the movie, just something, like I said, that's where I got into horror movies, just listening to them talk about this movie, and it was great. So, little interesting fact about the financing, he couldn't get money in the U.S. Nobody was going to bankroll his film. So he had to go, where do you think he went?
Well, I do not know.
I'm going to guess from Dario Argento.
You
his
got
buddy
it.
in Italy.
Yep. Another zombie movie master.
Yep. Suspiria, 1977.
Yep. So he gets money from Argento. Some Italian liras.
Did it have any strings attached to it?
It had strings attached to it. So Argento got the international distribution rights, a lot of money, and he got the right to open the movie in Italy. First night was in Italy.
Originally called Mamma Mia, It's a Me, Dawn of the Dead.
Madon.
It's a me, a zombie.
All right.
$650 was what was
$650K was the budget. And, like, it made $66 million. Well, kind of. It didn't really make $66 million.
Today that
it
would
did, be, but, yeah, we're talking about...
Today that would be an under $3.5 million movie.
Right. And then making 66,
right,
250 mil worldwide. Yeah. That's not bad numbers.
Not bad.
So the first 4 weeks in the U.S., it made $5.1 million. Oh, U.S. and Canada. You just throw Canada in there and like $50 in Canada.
Sorry about that, Canada.
And it went on to gross $16 million. But then they throw in, rentals were like $6.8 million, which is a lot of cheddar back in the day when this thing came out. Like I said, VCRs and everything weren't in every home, but they were out there in the 80s. And that was the domestic, and then you throw in the international gross, which was like $49.9 million. So 66 was the number that
still a huge
everyone kind of lands on.
Humongous success, right, for the budget that they had.
Right. And like I said, I don't know where they spent $650,000 because it wasn't on the actors. Nobody
They had to rent out that mall over Christmas season.
They had to the thing with the mall is they rented out the mall.
Repairs from the bikers tearing that shit up.
They could only they could only film at night, and whatever they messed up, they had to fix before the mall opened the next day.
Yeah.
Right, so they were there all night shooting, and then early in the morning getting everything back together.
So this was a fully operating mall at the time.
Yes.
Okay.
Fully operating mall.
They filmed the stuff in the beginning of the movie on the soundstage, but the newscast and the Philly apartment complex raid, they filmed all that over the 3 or 4 weeks during Christmas where they could not film at the mall because it was too much to take the decorations up and down.
Yeah, they didn't want to. It was a continuity issue. They were like, we're not going to get those decorations.
So
back
over the Christmas holiday season, filmed the other stuff that's not at the mall.
I would imagine the scenes inside of the storage room that they made a makeshift home, that could have been a stage. Right.
That was the soundstage as well. That was not in the mall.
I'm surprised to hear that you said it took him a while to find financing because Night of the Living Dead, his first, of the Dead movie, was relatively well received. I mean,
it was, but it came out 10 years before.
Right, but today,
I mean, that's
buzz
about
him coming back after 10 years to make another thing. That would be so much easier to do and finance now just because of all the channels, the emails, the way to spread that message that George is ready. He has a script to follow up to that masterpiece of the 1968 Night of the Living Dead. I'm surprised. I know he stepped away for, you'll probably get into it, several movies in between, but I would have thought that people would have been excited to help him out.
Yeah. Going back, you mentioned Dario Argento. Anybody see Suspiria? Familiar with it?
Remake
came out in
I saw the remake.
I saw it once. It wasn't really.
I wasn't a fan either. Like I watched it and Dario Argento, I think if you're a cinephile, is like a all-time legend in the horror genre. But I'm not a cinephile, and what can I say? I don't watch too many of the foreign movies. Did watch Suspiria because it's one of those on like a lot of other people's lists. It's just a little artsy, like not my type. Wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah,
which is fine. There's so many subgenres in horror, and movies are subjective, and you're allowed to not like certain things that might be popular to other people. Suspiria is one of those. It just really didn't resonate with me at all. I didn't revisit it ever. But I do recognize the name, and I saw in the opening credits. Great opening credits in this movie, by the way. Seeing his name in there was like, oh, cool. He's attached to it. And his dad, Claudio, I think was a producer on this movie as well. And then to see Tom Savini's name in the opening credits was like, oh, here we go. That's like, oh, all right. Tom Savini's super legend in the horror genre.
What's hilarious is the first time I saw this movie, I saw Tom Savini pop up on the screen. I was like, oh, that's the guy from Dusk Till Dawn. That's Sex Machine from Dusk Till Dawn.
When was the first time you saw it, Mike?
First time I saw the movie?
Dawn did.
This week.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can get into that. Yeah, like I said, I never really... I watched Night of the Living Dead a long time ago and was just kind of like, movies in the 60s were different. They were a different pace. And it was like, okay, I got it. I did not think I needed to revisit it. And it's movies, the way they make movies, the way they make them more interesting has changed over the years. And, like I said, with zombies, it's just not my favorite genre of horror. But I watched this one twice this week. I did not mind watching it. Actually, I fell asleep twice, but I've watched it all the way through twice this week. I usually watch these things at night after the family goes to bed, and they go to bed early. So I stay up late and watch the horror movies. Fell asleep, rewatched it again, and then rewatched it a second time. So did not mind rewatching this a second time. It's a good watch. I did enjoy this one a lot more than Night of the Living Dead, to be honest.
Okay.
Something we need to touch upon early and often is this movie did not need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes
No, it did
long,
not.
Charlie.
And
thoughts?
And there's an extended cut on YouTube that is 2 hours and 34 minutes long.
Yeah.
I'm like, were they playing House for an extra 20 minutes that they cut out? Or
what needed to go was, I mean, like, we know what your movie's about in the first scene in the TV, in the TV studio, the new studio. Yeah. You know, we don't need to have all these smaller side conversations about how bad people are and we're just materialistic.
So that was probably a non-starter for George A. Romero, right? He wanted to make sure
that's his thing.
to put in his thoughts on people the whole time.
Yeah.
What else could you mention? The opening scene that could have been a tight 4 minutes. We would have known exactly what's going on. Chaos, people. You know, the Peter. Is it Peter? I'm going to do this again. I did this last time. No, it was Steven. Steven comes in, says, hey, meet me on the roof at 9 o'clock. That's all we needed to know. And we're like, okay,
right.
They're
and
on the run.
Whoever the I'm not sure if this is like a real position, but whoever the extra wrangler was, like, bro, you need to pull these guys aside and like, okay, overacting. We get it. Like, we don't need everybody off screen, standing just off screen, throwing shit in the air, yelling at people, running in behind, giving somebody rabbit ears. Like, get the fuck out of here.
God. When somebody just throws the papers up on set.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of that was just supposed to let you know that the world outside of this studio is just in complete disarray. And
that
so,
shit.
and you get a little bit of that with the studio director, or maybe he's like the producer, whoever the studio head is, whoever's running it, the guy in the dark yellow suit that's definitely from 1978, the dark yellow, mustard yellow blazer. When he even like says to the guard, like, bring those guys back here, and he's just kind of like hands in his pocket, looks at him, and just like picks up his jacket and walks away. Like, like you're doing, like, all of a sudden, like, doing your job just doesn't matter anymore. And except for the one guy who is the two guys on set, and I love the guy that's like, you know, whatever it kills, they get up and they kill, like, and then like you know what's going on,
right?
It's great for like
the
that guy's
exposition.
great.
But
I love that guy.
I think it was just too heavy. That's why you need a really good director and
an editor, right?
An editor, and you know, I think it would have been, you know, I'll put my director hat on. I think it would have been much more effective to have a smaller level of that, but like, you know, get some good directing and get like fear on people's face, not just disgust or like out of control. You're not out of control. You're scared shitless, and all hell is breaking loose, and everything's going to hell, and you know, the rabbit ears. Come on, man. That was, I would have cut that shit out. Like, you're out. You're in the background.
Yeah, that was it wasn't like inappropriate. It wasn't funny. It was like, I was like, what are you doing?
So George A. Romero's in the producer's chair in this movie in that opening scene. That's him.
Is that him? Yeah.
Yeah, that's him sitting there. So I wonder if he was actually giving direction from that seat. If he's like, hey, run up and give this guy rabbit ears real quick.
100% no. No.
That's
okay.
True.
But that looked like a designed scene.
Yeah,
it did.
Like, it was just those three people in that scene.
It was a conscious choice to keep it in, and I wonder if that played to, like you said, it's being distributed globally first or in Italy first. Maybe there's different sensibilities or different,
and it's 50 years ago.
Right, that's true.
Right, you know, maybe it played. It made more sense to somebody in the 70s that's how they
those
would
rabbit
react.
ears were a nonstop laugh fest back then.
Okay, so before we get into the scene by scene stuff, let's talk about some of Romero's other movies. I mean, zombies were his thing, but he did some other movies, right? I mean, his first breakout movie, Night of the Living Dead, another classic. We could easily be doing one podcast about that one first, but I thought, for me, Dawn of the Dead was the one that...
This was more fun.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to run free in the mall just shooting other people?
Kind of, it ended in a more hopeful way as well.
Yes,
it did. I mean, you kind of get the idea that we won. No, turns out we didn't. So he did The Crazies in 1973 before this one.
Hot take, that is a zombie movie.
Yeah. And I liked the remake. The remake was pretty good. Yeah, it was solid. Creepshow in 82, Monkey Shines in 88, which was kind of, I mean, not zombie at all.
Right. He started pairing up with Stephen King IP on a couple of those things.
Right. And then the rest of this, I don't know, what would you call it? He did 5 zombie movies that were all in the same universe. He did Day of the Dead, the Quintology.
He did Diary of the Dead and
Land of the Dead.
Maybe Survival of the Dead, something along those lines.
Yeah, that was
The Quick and the Dead.
The Quick. No, I don't think he did that one. I don't think that was him.
I also don't think. I know from hearing some of the actors speak and some of the directors that other people co-opted the Of the Dead in their titles to sell movies, to get their movies financed.
Right. Shaun of the Dead. He was a fan of the movie Shaun of the Dead. Romero was a fan of that movie that like a spoof comedy on zombies, and had Simon Pegg and Frost in Land of the Dead as zombies.
Nice. Both of those two were also huge fans of Romero when they made Shaun of the Dead. It was a love letter / comedy to those movies.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right?
Right. Okay, so the cast. I touched on this in the beginning. Nobody you know.
Not so fast, Charlie. I want you to put some respect on the name of Tom Savini here.
Right.
Not as anything we will talk about in a little bit, but the great actor that is Tom Savini. I watched this movie after I watched a little-known movie called From Dusk Till Dawn, and you didn't do enough credit for Sex Machine.
Right. A much bigger part, much better part. He looks exactly the same in both movies.
Yes, he does look the same.
He does.
I don't know if he looked old back then or young when From Dusk Till Dawn comes out, but he crafted himself a dick pistol.
Right. And unfireable. I mean, it mechanically wouldn't have worked.
Tom Savini, he is the only person in Hollywood with the titles of stuntman, makeup artist or director, and actor. All 4 of those.
We call that a SMAD.
A SMAD. Not an EGOT, but a SMAD.
A SMAD, a stuntman.
Stuntman, makeup artist,
so
actor, director.
There was another guy in the movie. He had a bit part. The 3 cops at the dock scene, kind of like the lead degenerate cop. He was in the sequel to this, Day of the Dead, as the Captain Rhodes, which was a much bigger part and had some pretty good lines. Well, maybe we'll get into that movie.
I'll let you, when we're quoting lines, I'll let you quote the crazy cop that's shooting up the tenement later. I'll let you do all his quotes.
Yeah, and then Ken Foree, who plays Peter in this movie, also character actor in some other horror classics as well. He's in The Devil's Rejects. He plays Diamond Dallas Page's sidekick in that movie, Sig Haig's brother, one of the guys that runs the brothel that the Devil's Rejects stay in on their way back into town when the heat dies down. He's also in Rob Zombie's Halloween as Joe Grizzly. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch, is his line in that movie. He's at the truck stop and Michael Myers disposes of him pretty quickly. Also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and a little role in a movie called Black Santa's Revenge. Do you know what he played in that movie?
I think he played Mrs. Claus.
An elf?
No. But thank you for not assuming that he's Black Santa.
Right.
But he's Black Santa. in the
Oh,
movie.
nice.
So
I just real quick, I'm Joe Grizzly Bitch was my senior yearbook quote.
All right, so Act 1. The apocalypse begins, right? We're in the WGON TV station. Yeah, did you catch that?
Clever.
Right. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie and never realized. So basically, no one can believe what's going on. I mean, they have an expert there saying, do this, what kind of expert really, but somebody who seems to have a good idea of what's going on. I would side with him, ideas about what's going on. And then, I mean, we talked about the extras just overacting everything, and so it's just building and letting us know the mood of the movie in the beginning.
Right. Also, I always wonder about today's media where we sit around and watch people argue for hours at a time, and we're like, what's wrong with our media? But this kind of proves that concept has been around for a while.
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense when there's zombies and there's all these people that are, people are freaking out. I mean, but those people you're talking about, Justin, they're freaking out because Dak Prescott threw 4 interceptions in a game instead of 4 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
not life-changing
All right.
situations.
Right. So Roger, a.k.a. Flyboy. I hate it when they overuse that. But he shows up, and he's like, let's get the hell out of here. I got the helicopter. I'm the helicopter guy. And brief discussion. Then that
9 o'clock.
horrible actor is like, there's nothing for you left to do here.
I kind of like that guy. He was
Not,
like,
hey, can I
nonchalant.
go with you guys?
He's nonchalant. He's like, we're off the air
You got any
at
cigarettes?
midnight anyway.
Wait, are we talking about that?
That's later.
No, that's
Oh,
later. Oh, my
No, we don't.
But that was a funny scene too, and
What island are you going to? The next one.
Yeah, all right. So they decide they're gonna take off, and then we cut over to the SWAT raid.
Yep.
Now we're moving on to the second big scene, the SWAT raid, which one of the most racist slave era movies I've ever seen.
Right, Charlie. If you could go ahead and quote the rogue
What was that
police
guy's
officer.
name?
I don't remember. But
I can't remember his character's
fuck
name.
that guy.
Something, yeah. It was rough.
I mean, he is
I'm gonna
just
get those bastards. He says bastards like 8 times.
Bastards
Get those
is
bastards.
the
Call
best
them-
word that he said.
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans, as
Ooh,
that was.
stop there.
That was
I mean,
him being.
well, yeah,
like,
he says it in a
denigrating
negative way. I
them.
mean, they are Puerto Rican, but he
What's
says it in a
im-
negative way.
And then all
What's
the guys
important
that
to
go ahead.
know is that during the exposition during the TV scene, they were talking about how there's a mandate to not congregate together in residential properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that had something to do with the raid. Is that what the raid was about?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was because this gang took over. Because when they're prepping, they're like, he's like, was it Martinez? He's like, I'm gonna get Martinez's ass, and I think they were there because
so
for both.
They were hiding amongst. Okay.
Right. So, and then all the guys that came out were white in brown face. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, there was some brown face.
I was like, holy shit, George, what the hell, man?
And Blueface.
And blue face.
There was some blue face.
So
involved.
the gang guys come out, get all shot to hell. That one guy, that one rookie cop, Roger was like, "Just stick with me, man, and I'll pop." First
Right,
bullet
next to
out.
him.
Some wild bullet takes that poor kid out.
Was it me or was it confusing? Did he kind of look like Roger too? When he takes the bullet to that, I was like, Roger dead already?
Yeah, it did. I mean, that's just just a
He looks like,
small
he looked
white
a
guy
lot
that
like
looks
that.
Roger, yeah.
That other cop, young
the
cop that
one that
shows
falls,
up, right? The one that falls.
right in front
So
of
they
the
go
camera.
into the building, and whatever the racist cop's name, he's out of control.
Yeah.
Opening doors, blowing people's heads off,
Killing people.
sight
Not-
unseen.
Sight Regardless.
Sight unseen. Not like scanning the room or
He wasn't there for zombies.
slicing the pie, as they call it, when you like are
Right.
coming in a doorway a certain way.
He's just blowing people's
He's
heads
just
off.
kicking doors in and blowing people's heads
and
off.
laughing.
Yeah.
Just-
One really good, like, the effects. One really good head explosion. and then we get the husband and wife, where the husband's the zombie. The wife doesn't know it yet, but she comes to be with him and
takes that chunk
out of. He takes a chunk out of her shoulder and her arm. You get a good juicy splatter. It's good.
Yep.
I didn't do any research on how they did that effect, but it almost looked like, just biting into like a cake or something that, just...
It's like a blood pack or something that's underneath.
Like a foam under latex with soaked in blood. And I think I heard
when you
Tom talk about
it's
it
like the
once,
juice splatters out.
How he did it.
It was effective, and it was gross, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was like a good,
Yeah. That's what... Another thing, like this movie is off and running from the start, but for me that wasn't really big into these kind of zombie movies. To get the gross out, heads explode, like blood spurting out, chunks of bodies taken out. I'm like, oh man, I'm in.
Yeah, this is not your grandpa's zombie movie. No. This is we're coming for you, and the zombies have finally shown up.
It
right?
may be my grandpa's zombie movie, actually. Looking at you when I say that, Charlie.
Great grandpa. Okay, so and then they and what they told everybody not to do was happening. They were keeping their loved ones, even though they were clearly trying to kill everybody. There were zombies, and they were all in that one room.
Right.
Yeah. The weird priest with the one leg. I mean,
we get the priest.
There's a shot in the basement down there that I love where Peter's looking right in the camera, and he clears a cobweb out of the way, and then we get the POV of staring down the barrel of the gun. Just really well done shot, camera work there.
Yeah, and that's where, I forgot to mention that it was Peter that takes out the racist cop, right?
Right.
And then this is where Peter and
Roger
meet.
So Roger has to excuse himself because it's getting too real. He's going to vomit, something along that line. And Peter, basically, they have a standoff where, I know you saw me shoot racist cop Joe. So what are you going to do about it? He's like, I didn't see nothing, man. I didn't see nothing. And then they kind of, I think it was a pairing. They realized, hey, we're good guys. We're not those guys.
Right. And they do, one of the many two people scene dialogue about, we brought this shit on ourselves. We're being too materialistic,
and
blah, blah,
when
blah.
they're in the helicopter, Peter says, we're thieves, we're bad guys.
Right.
Right.
So
then the priest comes in.
Peter gets invited by Roger because he knows Jonathan?
Steven.
He
knows
Steven, the helicopter pilot. And they're going to get out of town, and he gets the invite.
With Francine.
He's like,
Roger.
Franny.
Roger gets Fran.
He says,
in the studio, was like, meet me on the roof.
Right.
He tries to be coy about it, saying a lot of people are running. A lot of people are basically going AWOL, essentially. Because I don't think their job is voluntary, or you can't put in your 2 weeks from this job anymore. So a lot of people are running. Mm-hmm. So they have that discussion about what they're going to do, and then the priest comes in, says, "I just read some last rites to these people in the basement," and that's when some more shit starts going off.
Yep. So we move from. So they're going to take off together to go get this helicopter.
So before we move on, just a few quick notes on the basement scene. Peter designates himself the one to take care of these. It shows him visually upset about this, right? So this is more examples of George showing the difference between the bad ones and the less bad people. I feel like George Romero has a very cynical view on all of us, but there are less bad people, and I think Peter is supposed to be one of the less bad ones from the get-go. He is affected. He's crying, all that. Also, then Roger comes in to help him when he is out of ammunition, saying, hey, I got your back here. So that kind of initially bonds those two characters.
Right.
All right. So we're going to move on to the dock scene. This is where we get all our heroes in the same bucket or helicopter. So, and this is that, what is his name? Joe Pilato, where he's like their lead. So they show up. Steven and Franny show up. He's going to get some fuel, and I guess goes inside. It's probably like a cop something or other, like a little dock wharf cops or whatever they're called.
In my opinion, it looks
Marine unit.
Marine unit.
It looks like helicopters have access and leeway to use certain areas to refuel, and that's what it's set up as. So Steven and Fran see somebody dead on the ground right away, so they know this might not be a safe spot. Something happened here, but it looks safe. So, but Steven continues to look around, and that's when
he finds that the one guy, the radio operator's dead. He just does like a brief call, saying, there's nobody here. And then they run into the 3 cops who kind of have the same idea, 3 young cops, that they're going to get the hell out of there. But they don't have a helicopter. They show up for boats, right? And then it looks like some shit's going to go down. Like, oh, shit, we've run into something that's worse than the zombies is other people at the end of their rope who are just going to do anything they can to survive. But then Roger and Peter show up. I'm like, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Who you messing with?
One of the worst actors in this movie shouting about, we can't take the plane or the helicopter, not many will fit, and what if we get stuck? He's the only one who knows how to fly this thing. So
is that you guys got smokes? You got a cigarette?
It's a cheesy scene, but it's kind of important because it kind of tells everybody who everybody is based on how forthcoming they were with the cigarettes, right?
Right. They take off and everyone fucking lights up.
Right. Everybody lights up, and it's awesome.
And this is where Peter is, like, we're the bad guys.
Right. Peter said, there's not much difference between us. We're going place to place and stealing what we need.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so a short scene, but I thought it was really good. Probably one of the best.
I love
directed scenes.
I love the next scene when the daylight starts coming up. They're flying over rural Pennsylvania.
Yeah, people are sleeping.
Right. Yeah, and
Flyboys getting tired.
Yeah, you see down below the zombies are starting to. They're just roaming the field, and then you get to the townspeople, and like I grew up in rural Maryland, so I'm very familiar with settings like this. And I don't want to say these are my people, but these are my people.
So you personally know some people that would be enjoying this experience.
Yes. If there was a zombie apocalypse where I lived in Maryland, there would be 20, 30, 40, 50 plus people gathering around
drinking
with their pickup trucks,
morning.
drinking their beer, bringing their rifles, wearing their flannel, and just ready to shoot some zombies in the head.
Which was kind of a carryover from Night of the Living Dead.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Which
that's
showed a rural setting where a bunch of people were out having a good old time, good old boys blowing shit up and shooting people.
I guess I didn't mention this, but George, I can't keep calling him George, is going to skip some of the how did we get to where we are. He's going to assume that we've done our homework and watched Night of the Living Dead or are familiar with what's going on.
Yeah.
So at the end of the movie, there's all this picture of how brutal we can be, and it's more examples.
And you kind of get the idea that the Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Living Dead happen at the same time.
Same universe, yeah.
Right? These guys fly over what was happening.
Right.
Night of the Living Dead.
And so, I mean, the titles also give you that hint too. What's after night? Dawn is after night. So
exactly.
So what is the next 6 hours like, right? But like this turns into months, but still, it's these some populations. It's telling us that some populations are smaller than others. So, they're not worried about this. They're going to get their group together, go drink some beers, and shoot them, right?
Yeah.
Another example of the good guys versus the not so good guys, or actually, sorry, bad guys versus the less bad guys.
Right. Okay, so now they got to land for fuel. Why do they have to land for fuel? Because of the helicopter they're flying. The Bell 206 Jet Ranger 2 has a range of like 430, 450 miles.
I think the people know that already.
Right, everybody should know.
You don't have to tell me this. Who's this for?
So you got to, but it's 4 people. I don't know. Maybe that's the brochure length with like a pilot and a co-pilot. Who knows exact? But they're a few hundred miles away from Philadelphia at this point.
Mm-hmm. The goal was Canada. We'll find out later, right? I think
that's
Steven and Fran talked about going to Canada at some point because they're polite up there.
And
Right.
Zombies can't break into a mall, so they definitely can't cross the border. So
Right, and zombies don't like poutine.
Roger's putting the fuel in, completely inexperienced. Like, why you put him on it? Why don't you have Flyboy? Because they needed to show
Roger
how
is Flyboy.
big- Not right. No,
Stevens.
Stevens.
yeah,
Flyboy.
Roger's fueling,
Roger's the
though.
short cop, but
Right.
he's the one that's fueling.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they have to show how big a dumbass Steven is by him walking around doing stupid
glad
shit
you
the
brought
whole
up
fucking
Steven.
time.
There's a part in our notes where we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes, and it's going to be from Steven, I guarantee.
It has to be.
Is it? Are you talking about? So he shoots the zombie in the chest multiple times and nothing happens, and then Roger corrects him and shoots him in the head.
Right.
Oh.
And then, like the next one he shoots, Steven comes in and does or Roger comes in and does the exact same thing.
Right.
It's like, get out of the way, clear out. This is how you do it again. In case you didn't notice the first time.
If this was a prison movie, Steven would have to hold Roger by his pocket for the rest of the movie. That's all I
He
got to say.
bought him for half a
because
pack
he,
of
like,
cigarettes.
He pushes him to the side and saves him twice, or just shows him how it's done.
Yeah.
Takes away his balls.
So in movies, in horror movies, you know you're in a real horror movie when dogs or kids get killed. And it's going to happen. If you haven't seen the movie, you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast, but Peter goes into like whatever the
Gas
office
station, yeah,
is,
whatever.
right? And what's in that closet? What's in that closet?
zombie
He's looking
kids.
around. You know, everyone's gone. There's nobody around.
Can we, like, real quick, talk about why did they spread out? Why is freaking Steven checking the barn for what's in there?
Because zombies are slow and
I
they're
get
not
it.
like slashers.
Best case scenario, what's he going to find in the barn?
Like, I mean, there's parts in this movie where they need to get from one place to the other, and they just push over like 20 zombies because they are slow and they don't grab very strong. And
But still,
Steven,
I get your point.
you can roam around.
You
They're-
can
This
walk
ain't
around.
time to be fucking around.
Right. And Steven, so help me, like, there was plenty of room to it. The zombies left and right in one of these scenes, but he decides to just smash into them.
Yep. I don't know
What is Steven's problem?
who choreographed these fight scenes. I would say nobody. just pretend like you're gonna hit him. Don't really hit him because he probably had a real hammer, right? And it's just like, you know, hitting people with your armpit and like judo chopping when you can tell that guy knows nothing about martial arts. The movie is just full of that.
It's
Still a great movie.
the first scene. It's super important to realize that. So I might be stepping on your next point, Charlie, but like, then they take off again, and they're like, "Where are we gonna stop? That's gonna be any better than where we just stopped, which was the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
a
I
gas
think
station in
that's-
the middle of nowhere."
That's what that scene was
Right.
supposed to
It's-
tell you.
It's telling us no matter how rural the area, you're gonna run into some shit. So
Which is a lesson they don't learn when they think they're going to just take off and go to Canada because it's better than this secure mall. But before they leave the little airport refueling, best kill happens.
our boy Frankie comes back.
Frankenstein shows up. Roger's got no idea because the helicopter is making too much noise, and he's just do. I'm surprised he wasn't smoking a cigarette. But
while refueling.
and this zombie climbs over crates and zoop, top of his head clean off, and just it was a little bit of brain you could see. Dead. Best kill for me for the movie.
We're jumping on the best kill already, but I mean, maybe it might be there.
That scene, you could tell all the stuff they had to do to prep for that scene was like. He thought of that scene before he thought of the movie. He's like, how am I going to kill some zombies creatively? Boom.
I need to know. I didn't do any behind the scenes, but I need to know if that was an actual helicopter blade that took off the head, because that seems like the biggest liability. We've all seen the Twilight
Right.
Zone movie. We all know what happened behind the scenes with that, but helicopters aren't toys, guys.
No, I cannot think they had an actor get within 3 inches of a helicopter blade.
No.
Not a chance.
Right.
No,
So
and
does-
whoever owned operated the helicopter would not allow that to happen. Never in a million years. And you know they didn't have the money to pay him
But
off.
it looked like it. So that kudos to 1978 George A. Romero and Tom Savini, if you will.
Yeah, it was a great scene, and a great part of a great scene. So, all right, back in the helicopter, they got another 430 miles in them. Right, we know they don't get that far.
Well, they make it
because
to,
of all
to
the flying around
about
they do
Pittsburgh.
after that. Right, so they have some fuel. Yeah,
And
so
Philly to Pittsburgh's a couple hundred miles.
Right. Yeah, they went
It's on opposite ends
east
of
to
the
west.
state. So
instead of straight north. Heading
How
to
many
Canada.
cheesesteaks is it lined up?
So they find them all. Like, what is that? You know, that tells you the ball culture and how new it was. Is like, what is that? It's one of those shopping centers.
One of those indoor mall centers.
yeah, a mall, I think it's called.
Right, and they land on top, which has a helipad, right? Just marked out.
Good
Fortunate
landing.
for them, you can probably see that thing from a mile away. They land on the mall, and then
Skylights.
good stuff happens.
One of those
Flyboy and Franny
those
are following.
newfangled indoor malls.
One of those newfangled indoor malls. What is that?
Yeah.
Must be one of those.
How long were malls around at this point? They reference it being new, like one of those new shopping centers.
I don't think. Probably the 60s. I mean, I didn't even think
so?
about
Okay.
looking back.
Yeah.
But an indoor mall, I don't know, early 70s, late
Yeah.
60s.
They make it sound like it's very like it's a new idea.
Yeah.
And then they mention, I think Franny says something like, why are they coming here? And one of them says it, but says like, well, it's instinct. They're just doing what they know.
Right.
It's
But,
important to them.
It's
right?
important to them. Yeah. But it's this new thing. It's not something they've done for years. It's something they've maybe done a couple times, I guess.
So they get there, you know, they're placed to rest and recuperate. They break in through the skylight.
Right.
You know, luckily it's the one right over the ladder.
Right.
And then they climb down into this room, which is like has all disaster preparedness stuff
Right.
in
It
it.
has
right?
Spam.
comically large buckets of survival stuff.
Probably like oats and
Spam.
rice.
It had
It had spam. It's got like separate little rooms.
Yeah.
So
Water.
Right.
they realize quickly that, hey, let's check this out a little bit more. I mean, we have everything we need for a quick pit stop, restock, and get out of here. But they're like, hey, let's check around.
Right. I mean, Flyboy conks out. The other two guys are like, which is always a bad idea. Like, you don't want to be the first person to go adventuring out in a zombie movie. Usually that spells, well, that's one of the throwaway characters. But, you know, they're not. They make it. They go down. They start checking stuff out. They're being quiet. They go into that one generator room. They find the keys. And they, like, you know, turn stuff on. And, like, you know, the music will cover our walking around and stuff. So let's turn that on.
You're referring to Roger and Peter right now.
Roger and Peter.
The most comically different sized people ever.
Right. Ebony and Ivory, if you will.
Peter's looking like he's about 7'6" compared to Roger being 4'2".
Right.
Respectively.
Respectfully.
Yeah. Put some respect on Roger, I guess.
So they're exploring. They're looking around. They see, you know, those zombies are everywhere, and they make it into that department store. I think it was a Penny's. I remember seeing Penny's.
Definitely was a Penny's.
A sign somewhere.
It didn't even say J.C. Penney's. It just said
It was just
Penny's.
well, I mean, it's the 70s. They were
Right.
trying to be hip and shit. So they get in. They're getting like they've got that little wheelbarrow thing. They're going to get like a TV, a radio, some other kind of supplies like that, and then they figure out that the zombies have followed them and are right outside the door, and it's 2 levels, so they're going to go upstairs. They're going to lure them up there. Then they're going to come down real quick.
The old okey doke.
Right.
So yeah, they were loading up that wheelbarrow, and they decided we cannot get this wheelbarrow without being attacked, right? So we got to lure these guys away.
Right. So they're running around,
And one of the best, and this is one of the scenes that I remember my mom describing to my aunt, where, they're running around, they're running past mannequins the whole time. Well, it turns out one of them wasn't a mannequin, and it's just like
the craftiest zombie ever.
We forgot to mention that Flyboy, a.k.a. Steven, decided he could not be emasculated.
Roger's Flyboy.
No, Steven's Flyboy.
Roger's the little guy. Peter's the tall guy.
I thought Roger was Flyboy.
No, that's Steven.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm going to edit that part out.
So yeah, Steven decides I'm a man too. I have to go find out what they're doing.
Yeah. Steven's the dumb one.
So he has to make his way through the biggest power room I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
And wait, did he start shooting then? Is that when he started shooting?
Yeah, that's when
he shot a few times.
He finds that
ricochets about 20 times around that boiler
room. The manual for the whole mall. He finds the manual. The
one good thing. The one good thing that Steven does.
Right.
Besides impregnate.
And then he's running around with this little .22, which probably would bounce off of half of people's skulls, unless you were right in front of them. And ricocheting everywhere.
I think you heard, if you counted it, it was like pew, 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 pew. It was like 6 ricochets.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you shot.
After you shoot once, you hear 6 or 7 ricochets. Like, hey, I don't think I'm going to fire my gun again. And he does like 3 more times.
And he's shooting at a ninja zombie, too. Because he's like casting shadows and he's shooting at the shadows. Like, what the hell's going on?
You can't see shit down there.
The zombies definitely have varying degrees of capabilities. You will find out, some can lay in wait apparently as like a wolf spider and can jump out like a mannequin.
Right. So he gets the manual. Does Peter and Roger show up and take care of the one zombie for him again, or does he? I can't remember. Does he get it himself?
I think he ends up. Does he stab him with the screwdriver? Is that
no? That's the jump scare.
Roger stabs the mannequin zombie with the screwdriver.
Mannequin zombie. I can't remember.
It looks like melted crayon coming out of his
ear. I thought he
ear.
figured out a way to take care of it himself.
But the Hare Krishna zombie,
oh my gosh,
sees where they came from and decides, if there's 2 people coming out of there, there's probably more people in there to eat. So he goes in. He's going after Franny. And she's like, just sitting at the top of the stairs. She hears something.
Hoped for the best.
Steven, is that you? And then like she sees the skinned, the shaved head of the Hare Krishna zombie coming up the stairs.
I don't know,
spreading the good word.
Right. I don't know if she would have been just as annoyed if he was not a zombie.
Yeah,
probably just as annoyed.
This is the one that's trying to get Franny off the ladder for about 5 minutes and can't.
Right.
And Franny's just like, stop it, stop. And
so
they finally come and just shove her out of the way.
Yeah, so the 3 guys are downstairs.
They don't even shoot her that zombie to kill her. They just
because they don't want to
hold
draw
on.
the attention.
Let's just push her down.
Yeah, they get back in the nick of time, and of course Flyboy just wants to just blaze away, probably with his eyes closed. And they're like, "You're gonna shoot her, you fucking moron!
You're gonna shoot her, and you're gonna bring the others up."
So Peter Rogers push it down and smash his head in, and boom, zombie's gone.
So we're safe, kind of,
yeah.
Kind of for now, temporarily safe.
Yeah. But that's when they really decide that they got it good there. There's, of course, there's more scenes about how bad humans are, and we're just not as bad as everyone else, and the world is ending because it's all our fault. There's a little bit of abortion talk, which was very progressive for the time.
Mm-hmm. Romero basically wanted everybody to see, the folly, as Charlie's brought up before, that the consumerism taking over everybody individually. Like, I think it was Peter that was like, "We got something good here," and it was like, and it just all kind of crept in. Like, we've got it made in the shade. We don't need to go anywhere.
Right.
I think it's a blind spot for me, and it's a me thing. It's not anybody else, but like finding the social commentary in movies now, and it's overt, like in the beginning of this movie, where they want to go and kill these zombies, and the police and the SWAT are basically targeting the people of color in this movie,
the brown gray people.
Overt racism.
I mean,
that's not lost on me.
They throw the N-word around. So.
Yeah, and that's not lost on me. But then, when people are like, "Oh, this movie is about consumerism and how humans are really the bad people," it's like, "Oh, I thought this movie was about, not getting killed by zombies, how to survive a zombie apocalypse." Where people are like, "The Shining is about genocide." I'm like, I thought The Shining was about a guy that went crazy and tries to kill his family. But
right.
like that deeper level stuff, it's a blind spot for me, and that's just a me thing. So when I hear other people talk about this, it piques my interest because I don't think about consumerism. I think about just how am I going to survive this zombie attack?
Yeah, and that's where
how are they
when I was
survive
first watching it for the first 20 years. I was
or when's the next head going to explode?
Right. This is what I would do.
Right.
If I was there. So they know they got a good thing, and when you think about it, I mean.
2 out of 4, yeah.
You run. Like they have it in their head, I think, that there's a safe place out there. That if they stop running to that safe place, they're just going to get overwhelmed by the zombies. But I mean, the fact I think the fact is that there is no safe place.
Right. I don't know when we're going to talk about the decision and if we would survive this, but
we'll get to it. We'll get there.
We'll save that.
We'll get there.
But yeah, he did a pretty good job of not hitting you over the head too much with with some of the symbolism, except for the early racism. That was just flat out bloodlust of these minorities. But yeah, he definitely made it sound like they come in there, they see all the stuff that they can have, right? They see the money in the drawers, they see the fur coats and stuff they want to wear and stuff.
All the free stuff that's there.
All the free stuff. They got food. They got everything they want. They got video games. They got entertainment.
They just have to get rid of the zombies at this point.
Essentially,
and that's the next.
Essentially, they cleaned it up.
Next act.
Essentially, they're like, we've got to clean this up.
Yep. So they
and then secure the outside, right?
Right. So we got to secure the outside. We got to shut these doors, but they know enough zombies. Bulletproof glass, which is kind of what they made the glass out to be, it's indestructible. Enough zombies against are going to break in. So they get this idea. They're up on the roof. They see all these trucks parked with the trailers on them. They're going to go get them. So they start doing that, and they're going to block off the entrances, and then
right. So there's only enough room for one at a time.
Right. So not a big crowd can get in there, which is not a bad idea.
Not a horrible idea,
especially when you're dealing with doors every goddamn where, but malls don't have windows.
But even if they did all get in, I mean, they show them trying to get through that one door, and they even are like they let one zombie in so they can then close the door on the 20 other zombies there, and then just kill that zombie because zombies are just easy to get away from, easy to kill.
I also probably would have put down the gates. Like, why not? Why not put down the gates? Right after you lock those doors.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they had the gates down when they were crawling around through the ducts, and they went into that one gun store. They were like doing their guns shopping, and Flyboy, of course, wants to do something stupid and is like aiming at a zombie, and he's like, I wouldn't do that. That thing's going to ricochet off that metal gate and likely hit one of us.
I think those were the gates per store, though. I don't think those were the gates. I think there was like...
Yeah, but that was the store gate. Yeah, I didn't think there was an out.
It seemed like it later when they were barricading from the biker gang or whatever. But anyway,
So they block off the entrance. There's the scene where they're getting the semis. Peter's doing his thing, and here comes one of the flaws that they'd like to use in these kind of movies. Somebody's overexcited. Somebody's doing stupid stuff that's going to get themselves hurt or somebody else hurt. And that's Roger. He's just bouncing around, having a great time, running over zombies. And Peter's like, man, you gotta. I mean, the dialogue is so.
I want to know
this thing, but he's like, you gotta calm down, man. You're gonna get us killed.
Yeah. So yeah, that was. He nearly died, and that's when he, started running him over with like a different look in his eye. He started getting a little angrier.
Yeah.
Because they had the audacity to try to eat him. But talk me through the plan of having a helicopter scouting this thing with no way of communicating to the trucks from the helicopter. Let's hear the plan here.
That was obviously not a plan. They had a helicopter. They already paid for the helicopter. They probably paid for a full tank of gas. They're like, put the helicopter in the scene.
There was, as we found out, the only way for Steven to notify the other two was to land,
right in
practically land and, shimmy the helicopter around so they'd look around.
Yeah, and just waste gas, basically. They're just wasting
and they even mentioned they don't have gas to begin with. They landed them all because they're low on gas. They don't know how far they're going to make it. And then when they take off later, they're like, how much gas do we got? Not much. All right.
Right. So during all of this, there's a little semi-small scenes where the zombies almost get Roger, and then the scene where they actually do get Roger.
Right. Yep.
And he's bitten twice, once in the arm, and I think once in the leg, which we see later is like a really good special effects that they did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done for, and everybody knows it. He's got 2-3 days to live, and they say as much.
But they're gonna make the most of it. They're gonna wheel him around in a wheelbarrow. I think he's the only character that could have fit in the wheelbarrow. But they had fun. They went to the arcade. They fake shopped. They fake
right. The food they had that place had everything. It had a grocery store in it.
Right. Had a steak restaurant.
Food.
You gotta eat that food. It's gonna go bad soon.
Right. It's gotta go bad.
But this is after. So before they do all that, they clear out all the zombies. They kill all the zombies that are in. I'm thinking like it's a pretty big mall. And they never really show exactly how many, but I was thinking like there'd be like 100. But when they're like their great idea of what to do with all these zombie bodies was to put them in the freezers,
right next to the meat.
Right next to the meat.
Gross.
And I didn't see 100 zombies. I saw like 7 or 8. Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, a few tiny little.
Going back to that arcade, that racing game looked pretty damn good for 1978. I don't know what game that was, but it looked better than Super Mario, which is what 6 years later. I'm just saying, like 60. No, it did. I mean, Mario is
bad, but it wasn't like fully interactive. I don't think.
Yeah, it looked like it was just like a still image of
a still image of a car, and the road moves around it. I'm just saying, for 1978, it looked pretty damn good.
I'll take today's games.
Oh, well, duh.
Yeah, I don't remember that game.
I don't remember.
In 1978.
Yeah.
In 1978, that was probably amazing, that game.
So they lock the doors. They clear out all the zombies. Then they start, then they do the bank scene where they get all the money and pose for
the music starts getting a little weird.
Right.
It's a little circusy.
So they go on the shopping spree. They get the money. They're having fun. And then there's the scene where Roger's going to come back, and he's he's done for.
Right, you're reminded as he gets closer to death that we do have this to deal with still.
Right, and so Steven and Fran are watching. I think they're watching another newscast where that same one-eyed
scientist. That's the scientist.
Scientist is, doing his whatever thing, saying we just have to kill everybody without emotion.
We must remain rational.
And Roger's on the bed, and Peter's in there sitting across from him with a gun. Right. And another scene that I remember being explained to my aunt by my mother, and I was like, "Oh my God, I gotta see this movie." The makeup, it was blue, but when that blanket comes off and he's looking around, it's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was
that
good.
held up.
Yeah.
And despite Peter knowing it was going to happen, the blanket shifting a little bit, and then the confused sleepy zombie popping up or whatever, it was still effective. I mean, it was still another reminder of what we lost in this.
Right, he had to kill his own friend. Right. He had to kill his best friend. Right, at that point, they had to be best friends. So
they do us a favor by not showing it, though.
Right,
that was surprising.
I was surprised too. Now that I think about it,
it was an off-screen kill.
It was an off-screen.
We just knew what happened. We heard the gunshot. We knew what happened.
Right,
we were with Fran and Steven at that point.
So they bury Roger in the mall landscaping.
Nice,
which I didn't realize that that dirt was real, A, and B, that deep. Right? That you can cover up a whole body.
Well, remember,
when this mall reopens, it's going to stink.
Remember, it's Roger, so he was probably standing up straight.
Yeah, probably.
Being only a foot tall, they didn't have to dig too deep.
So there's the
He's going to hear this.
The scene, the proposal scene, and I mean, at this point, I'm starting to I kind of wavered over into feeling bad for Steven at this point. I mean, he's just walking into it left and right. He's a dick. He's a misogynist.
He's clumsy.
He's clumsy. Can't shoot worth shit. He's got bad judgment. Somehow this motherfucker knows how to fly a helicopter.
Right. That's all. That's if not for that.
Which Fran is like, you need to teach me how to fly this helicopter, because I don't know about the rest of you guys, but if this Joker, and we know he's going to get it, if he gets it, then we're stuck here. We have no way out.
Later, we know Fran can shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
So
she holds her own in this.
I think we all agree, if we're looking for a place to cut the fat, this is going to be where we would cut the fat from, is the playing house.
Yeah.
But I think it was important to the director, the storyteller in this, that it's, despite having everything you need, you're not really living. The whole world is happening around you still. You can't stay there forever.
Yeah.
Right. And something's going to go wrong.
You're going to run out of spam eventually.
Right as they're landing, something goes wrong.
They even showed the joyless sex that was they were partaking in. I was like, that was a good 1 minute of still image of just those two post coitus,
both looking very disappointed,
exactly,
upset and frustrated. So they land the helicopter. Fran learns how to fly. Seems like you got it. You're flying. And then the Frito Banditos are very 70s reference. You would get it.
But I don't get it. You're right.
So
it's funny though.
The Raiders show up,
led by.
I feel like the guy on the mic was kind of like the leader, but even though he couldn't keep anybody in check.
Right.
So the bad guys show up and they're they have a
whirly bird.
Right. So they have a helicopter. They're in this mall. They got some good stuff. We want it.
They must have got it.
Are we going to wait till? Are we going to do it now? Or are we going to wait till dark? So they wait till dark.
The helicopter acts as a unnecessary MacGuffin. I think those pillagers, those raiders, would have seen the giant mall and wanted to check it out anyway. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So
but maybe they were driving by on a parallel road, and then they saw the helicopter, and they were like, "Hey, what's? Oh, okay, there's a mall."
So they guaranteed they would see it.
Pretty much.
Great quote is the guy on the radio saying, "We don't like people who don't share. You just fucked up real bad," which I feel like I probably have said to my 3 and 5-year-old who never ever share with each other. So I'm pretty. If I've said that out loud, if I haven't said it out loud, I've definitely said it inside. Probably come real close to saying something like that out loud. Right.
So our 3 heroes and Steven know that they're coming to get them after they give them a call and they tell them to shag off. And
are we at 2 heroes and Steven at that point?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We're at 2 heroes.
We're minus half a hero.
Right. Okay, so they get ready, and Fran is full on 7-8 months at this point, very shallow and pregnant. So obviously she's not going to be running around, climbing on down the ladder and stuff like that. So Steven and Peter get ready for the bad guys.
Right. Peter's they're getting in. Let's make it tough for them.
Right. Make them pay for what they get.
Exactly. So they're going to open these doors. 1,000 zombies are going to follow them in. They're going to be too busy fighting those to worry about us at all.
Right. They say that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they do. They get re-hotwire the truck, and it's all ready to go. I think one of them said, and they move it out of the way, and then they just come in a pile of jackasses. How these guys have survived to this point?
Lots of piles.
The motorcycles are loud.
Right.
There's no protection on the back of a bike. Where do they stop and sleep? They're like a magnet.
It's probably
a zombie magnet when they're driving.
The wagons or something.
I don't know what they do, but
so I think we touched on this a little earlier in the cast, but this is where they really start to say there are really bad people, and then there's kind of bad
and all
people.
they want is stuff, basically.
They want stuff,
and they'll take it from you.
They want stuff. They don't care who, they have no dignity left for, or no respect for the dead, for sure.
The pies in the faces, the
Right.
water bottles. Like, what are we doing?
Right. Pickpocketing
Just like,
them.
what is going on
Seltzer
now?
water like they're freaking clowns.
The pie in the face. And
So this whole time, Steven, you can see him almost like Smeagol up in there with his precious. He saw that they were taking from the mall that they worked so hard to secure.
Right.
And once again, Steven decides to do some stupid shit and start a war with this band of bikers.
Right. And it's playing into the whole commercialism thing. Like, the stuff is more important than his own life, which is stupid. They were stealing jewelry and fur coats and smashing some stuff up. Really, the only thing they did was let the zombies in. And they could just let those guys leave. But no, yeah, you're right. Steven, the dumbest guy in the movie, does that shit. Dumber than the zombies. Goddamn.
The zombies can't help it,
Well,
yeah. So
I'm going to say the dumbest character was the one who decided to get his blood pressure taken.
I was going to bring that up.
While he's being swarmed. Like, he's like, oh shit, how does this affect it? I don't know if that was the plan.
There's the best kill and the worst kill, and that was the worst kill. Like, what the hell?
I know why they did it, because somebody, I don't know who in a writer's room, was probably like, wouldn't it be fun if we had somebody anchored to that thing and then all we saw was the arm? And then they had to back their way into how to get the...
I feel like there was a lot of cocaine in that decision that no one talks about. But yeah, so the bad guys are running everywhere, stealing stuff, breaking stuff. Steven opens fire. They start shooting at him. Peter starts, killing them pretty well. He's hiding and they're chasing him and he's shooting and killing them. And the zombies are all in. Now it's getting too much for the bikers.
It's getting a little hairy.
They have to, there was the one guy who did the Tarzan swing, and then our buddy Sex Machine tried it, and he got his, and yeah, it was pretty bloody at that point. And then they're all, some of them get away. They're heading outside. Steven goes in the elevator and gets shot.
So he was trying to get to the tunnel. Like, he was trying to get to the elevator shaft is what he was trying to do.
Yeah, so he climbs up top.
Right, and then they got the power running again and called it back down.
Yep.
He was going to jump out and into with Peter.
Right, and some of the raiders saw him go in there, so they came in and shot up at him and got him, but then they took off and
shot him
wounded. Right.
That's when he had his big showdown, his big Alamo scene where he's being attacked by everybody.
He tries to climb back up. He can't get up. Doors open. Flood of zombies come in. He gets a couple bites. He gets them out of there. Doors close. And then the doors open again. The zombies are ready to go in and finish him off. But, this has been a while. A little bit of time has passed. And Peter thinks he's dead. Fran thinks he's dead. But the doors open up again, and he's a zombie. Serves him fucking right.
We got full zombie Steven.
But second to Roger's face makeup.
Right.
He's done really, and that was the best acting he did that entire fucking movie.
Right.
It was believable. When he's walking on that ankle, I was like, he's gonna fucking twist his ankle.
Oh yeah, he was up on that.
His hair was jacked up. His neck was jacked up.
He was like a ballet dancer with those ankles. I'm like, good lord.
But he remembered where they were, even though I don't think we mentioned it, but they built that fake wall so the zombies wouldn't know how they got in there, and they couldn't get up there.
They built the flimsiest faux wall I've ever seen. But,
it wasn't even sheetrock. It was
I don't know. They should have used some wedges for the sill plates or something. But yeah, it was
maybe change the spacing on those 2x4s.
Maybe put some shit behind it or something. But yeah, so I think muscle memory or whatever memory he had left wanted him to get with Fran. Just had the memory of being safe there. So obviously he was a zombie, so he led everybody else up there.
Right. So they're going up. Peter's back. Fran's there. They're going to leave. Steven shows up. He blasts Steven. Did they have their little talk about he wants to stay, he's done?
Yes.
That was after he killed Steven, or
it was
before?
it was after they killed Steven, and he realized that,
right.
we're screwed. They're all coming up the stairs.
But friends, no, I'm gonna live. I can fly the helicopter, so I'm gonna get in the helicopter and get out of here.
Out of 5K or whatever.
Right. And the original, there was an alternate ending. Originally, they wanted to do it where he does kill himself, and then she kills herself by walking to the helicopter blades.
Yep.
But they're like, no, we can't do that.
No, what do you mean walking into him? Just like deciding to Frankenstein herself, or?
Well, it would have to be the back prop unless she jumped up really high. The back.
Yeah.
So they were just going to play her as really stupid, like not.
Yeah, but they're like,
Well, I think it was a suicide.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. She did it on purpose.
That's what it was going to be. But they were like, no, we got to see these two make it.
Yeah. So the
good
zombies,
choice.
I like that.
Right,
yeah.
I believe. Yeah, and that's how his movies. He always does that at the end of his movies. He's like, we're still worth redeeming. Let's see how it goes.
Right. Night of the Living Dead, though, they did the main character, the African American character, dirty. Man.
They did. Did you see the remake, which followed the original script almost identically?
I did see the 90? It was great.
Yeah, something like that.
It was good though.
Yeah. She survived, and the African American character did not. But she gets revenge on the dickhead who caused it. But anyway, that's a different movie, different podcast. So she's up on the roof. She's about to take off. Zombies are in there trying to get Peter. Zombies have climbed up in seconds, hundreds of them.
All of a sudden.
A rickety wooden ladder.
Right, so they're
followed
up.
by a metal rung ladder.
She's about to take off. He changes his mind. He starts blasting his way out of there. He gets up on the roof. He's doing some more, obviously not choreographed by anybody who knows anything about self-defense. Like
he was
body block stuff.
B.A. Baracus.
He just runs. Yeah, you're right. It reminded me of the A-Team.
Yeah,
even the music was very
right?
A-Team. Yeah. It would definitely. It was like the end of an A-Team episode.
Right, get in the helicopter.
He's just shoulder checking and
what did they
elbowing
say?
Zombies out of the way to get to.
So how much gas? How much gas we got?
Yep.
Not much.
All right. Okay.
So we assume they're heading north because there's a little bit of talk of Canada earlier in the movie.
Okay.
Fini, it's over. It's the movie's done. No post-credit scenes or anything like that.
Nope.
And much like we did in the episode for The Thing, we're going to kick it to a Gen Zer, Z for zombie, or Z as the British say. This kid was born in 2009. This movie was made in 1978, so doing the math, that is, 30 years? So let's see how it holds up after 30 years.
And I'm the Gen Z, which is cool. So, in a total, I did not like the movie that much. I thought it was way too long. They played house for 30 minutes. I mean, I guess they were trying to bring like a sense of like what you're gonna do when the world basically ends. But I thought could have been cut. I also really didn't like how the zombies were slow. I think fast zombies make it more intense and like makes a little more scary.
Hot take.
It's a hot take.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, how many 15-year-olds like movies from 1978? Probably not many,
How
right?
many 40-year-olds like a movie from 1978?
I mean, so what would you say is the oldest movie that you did enjoy? Like, have you seen Halloween, original Halloween?
I've seen Halloween.
Like, that's 1978 as well.
I didn't like that.
You didn't like that one
Jaws?
either? Oh, come on.
Jaws?
Jaws is 75.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, Exorcist?
You have homework to do.
No.
Oh, my God. You're raising them wrong.
We're working
Justin.
on him. We're working on him slowly. I've got to get him into the modern classics first. So
he's going on his own to see Terrifier 3 at the theater, and you haven't let him watch Jaws.
That's true. So what other thoughts did you have on it?
Pacing was, but that kind of goes on with I thought it was too long. I thought that the character development was way better than The Thing. Like, The Thing didn't bring as much, like, development to, like, any of the characters, which in this one, it brought development to, like, all the characters. But I did also, going along with the zombies, didn't like the makeup. It was bad.
It was 1978.
You know, I like when we started this episode, that was like the first thing I came out with. The script is bad, the acting is bad, the directing is bad, the special effects. not bad for their time, but I mean, not great either because we did see Jaws. But
well, Jaws the shark looks so bad. That's why they hid it for an hour.
That's sometimes the best.
But if I was coming in cold on this movie, I kind of feel like I would feel the same way.
I think they could have done better on the makeup. I did like the practical effects with like the organs and stuff though. That was cool. Yeah. Like when Tom Savini's character died. That was pretty radical.
I think Savini admitted he tried to get the makeup to look gray, and then when they showed the film, it looks blue on film.
Yeah, right.
Like it was gray on set, but film made it look blue.
So. By far, I'd say
you live and you learn, right?
Roger, when he woke up, was the best they could do with that.
Well, they had
right?
to.
That was the best, right?
He was still, he was motionless, and it was a close up. They had to do him right.
So, did you have favorite kills or any other takeaway
Tom
thoughts?
Savini's death was
that Tom Savini, the big organ one?
I think it was. No, because it was the guy who wasn't Tom Savini.
He was the one who designed the effects.
Wasn't he the guy with the mustache?
He was.
Yeah, that was Tom Savini.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, don't question me.
I like his kill where he with the machete through the guy's head.
Yeah. The helicopter kill.
And the helicopter kill.
I mean,
we just discussed the helicopter kill.
It made the movie.
And you weren't here when we were talking about this, but they picked an actor that had a small forehead, allegedly.
Yes. One of the extras with the smallest forehead is who they put the skull cap on to be chopped off so that it would look more like a normal forehead. And not so Frankensteinish, but it looked pretty Frankensteinish.
While watching the film, we were making...
He came out, I was like, what's with Frankenstein?
Where are the bolts? He's missing his bolts.
So, you would not recommend this to your buddies?
No. I mean, I guarantee some of them probably seen it, and if I asked them, they would probably say it's bad. So,
what is your relationship to the mall?
The mall?
Just in general, not in this movie, just in general. You're 15.
When I go sometimes, I like it. But it's also
so you do go
rarely. I mean, I think there's other stores that I like more. Also, I just don't really shop that much.
Yeah, I mean, your dad and I grew up in an era where you didn't go to the mall to shop. You just went to the mall because everyone else was at the mall.
You'd have a little notepad to get some numbers in the off chance you'd see some girls walking around.
We didn't have the online.
Right. We had to talk to people.
Oh, so you didn't have the QR codes you could scan?
No. We didn't have the Snapchats.
Or the Face Place.
Face Place.
The MySpace. You guys still use that, right?
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your opinion, sir. The next one we choose, I'm sure you will like it just as much as this one.
Yay.
Cool. I hope he likes it more.
Tight. Well,
thanks, Atticus.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Good night, buddy.
Good night.
All right. So, could you escape this? Where did the victims go wrong? Where did our heroes, the ones that didn't make it, go wrong? Would you have survived? What would you do?
And Mike, you can start on this one if you want.
It's short. Yeah, I can survive this. It's they're zombies. They're the Walking Dead, and I use the term walking very loosely. You just don't get holed up somewhere in a place. You just, I don't know, you just go. These things are obviously easy to kill. You don't have to kill all of them. You can run because they can't. Yeah, I'm escaping this.
You can shuffle step to the right or to the left and walk around them for the most
part.
But
you can just chest bump them and turns out they fall.
Right. So here's my question to the group here is, are we to believe that because the television station stopped playing their emergency warning and broadcast, that shit is over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, I mean, I don't know if they could have done how it would have played out any different if they were anywhere else other than a less populated area, for sure. That's key. You want to go to a town that has less than 100 people in it.
You hope this mall has a hunting store. You load up on ammo and you go to a very, very, very secluded part of this country and you arm yourself.
Counterpoint again, though. We talked. They mentioned it must be nuclear. This power plant must be nuclear, meaning that other places were lacking. They were out of power. So to find an isolated place that had any kind of power might have been difficult too. So it would have to be someplace temperate, moderate climate at best.
Yeah, you have to be far enough away from nuclear power plants because they're going to blow, and we're talking like, 100 mile. I don't know, 100 mile. What's the Chernobyl area in Ukraine? Like 100-mile radius from the
where's
reactor?
3 Mile Island? Isn't that near?
That's in Pennsylvania, but that did not do the same thing as
Fukushima was pretty bad
Chernobyl.
too.
Yeah,
Chernobyl.
Another one was bad as Chernobyl. Chernobyl blew and spewed radioactive material all over the place. And one thing I noticed in this zombie movie that I didn't notice in Night of the Living Dead or any, I can't think of another zombie movie after it, they were afraid of fire. They used that.
Like Frankenstein.
Right. I mean, I never saw that in a zombie movie before or since.
I think.
But that could help you survive. Obviously.
It was, for sure. I think it was Romero. Like, humans are naturally afraid of fire, right? So maybe that's an instinct that's just a reflex that just caked in so far.
Yeah, but they should have used it. I think they should have used it. That should be part of the zombie genre, canon. That the zombies are afraid of fire. Yeah, regardless of what kind they are.
Like all of a sudden, when vampires became allergic to silver, and then some movies are not allergic to silver.
Right, that's just werewolves. Okay, so you guys think you're going to
werewolves
survive?
And silver? It's garlic for vampires.
There's some silver,
Is it
like
silver
Blade,
for vampires?
Blade, yeah. There's silver too.
See, vampires is the subgenre that I like even worse than zombies.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of covered the best kill, I think. But what was the best kill?
The best kill has to be the most memorable one. Is going to be the helicopter kill, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going with.
That's good. I think the one that got my attention was in the apartment building, the husband and his wife.
Oh yeah.
The taking the chunk out of her shoulder and
they get into it pretty quickly, and the gore comes.
Oh, you have my attention. You had it because this movie starts off really intense, and then I'm like, oh, it took it to another level real fast when that happened.
Who's the dumbest character?
Yeah, it's got to be Steven.
It's got to be Steven.
Also,
Roger did
that bastard of a cop.
Stupid shit.
Fuck
that guy.
We forgot about the racist cop.
Got what was coming to him. He's dumb for his just whole viewpoint on society.
Okay, let's see. Body count.
Body count.
What do you think the body count was, Mike?
I think it's 120. So this movie's 2 hours long.
We're counting zombies and living people.
I'm saying 120 because this movie's 2 hours and such long. So a body a minute, even though there's scenes where zombies are getting mowed down every 5 seconds. And then we also have 20, 30 minutes of time where no one's getting killed. Okay. So I think I'm saying at 120, average 1 kill a minute.
Justin?
Well, are we counting when Steven lost his manlyhood, when they stopped letting him shoot at things? And Roger's like, nah, I got this, son. No, my guess is 90 kills. I think there is about 7 hours where they're just playing house in the middle of the
right. I mean, I would hate to be the guy who would go through and figure out exactly how many because it would take a long time. But I would think maybe it's a little bit higher, maybe a lot higher, like 180.
Google says 138.
Looks like Mike wins.
Closest.
And without going over.
I don't play by Price is Right rules. If it's 130 and I say 139, I win.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
But I still win.
Screw Bob Buck.
Whoa.
Hey, come on.
Whoa. Okay, so
he's a legend.
What's this gore score? I mean, this is a pretty gory movie, especially for 1978. After we've seen The Exorcist, after we've seen Jaws, we see Quinn getting chewed up by the giant shark. I mean, they come with this movie.
So there is, within the first 10 minutes, there's a complete watermelon head shot where it just explodes. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
There's giant teeth, like chunks taken out of people.
The shoulder bite.
There's shooting fish in a barrel. The zombies laying down there, just chomping on like bones.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say it's up there with gore. It's old. It's classic gore. It's not like what you'd see in some later.
It's juicy. It's juicy.
It's juicy.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
I'm saying 7. We gave The Thing an 8 or an 8.5. I think The Thing has more extended kills or
like better special effects,
better effects,
keep you in the moment better.
Like this one has long stretches where no one's getting killed, or it's a gunshot without explosives. But
see, I would say,
so I'm saying 7 for this one.
I'm gonna say it has to at least be Thing level in my opinion, just because the sheer numbers of it and it's human on human, biting and
true
blood,
guts,
but it doesn't look like blood all the time. It's a little too orange in some situations,
right?
But
a little too thin.
Melted crayon.
There is a scene where we're rooting through guts,
right?
So
yeah, so you're thinking? I'm thinking.
I'm gonna give it the same as the
like
Thing.
If we gave the Thing an 8, I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so IMDb says if we like this movie, we should also like Pet Sematary, The Thing.
Okay.
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
And From Beyond.
Now, when we did The Thing, it did not say that you would also like Dawn of the Dead. That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the only similarity between Pet Sematary and this would be things coming back from life.
From the dead.
Yeah, from the dead, right?
Yeah. I mean that's a loose association. Why didn't it say like Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, Day of the
28
Dead.
Days Later.
Right. Yeah. Resident Evil.
I like those movies, so.
Okay. So now let's move into the Hall of Fame. I don't remember what we pulled from The Thing to go to the Hall of Fame. I might have to reconsider.
Yeah, we nominated
that kind
just
of
some things, whether or not we'll nominate whether there's a hero in this movie that is Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah.
Is a villain Hall of Fame worthy, which I think the villains, there's not a villain.
Right. It's kind of like The Thing. It was like,
The Thing is amorphous.
Not really a
vague.
villain that's developed, like a Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees or something like that.
Yeah.
So I would say, Killer Hall of Fame, a zombie.
Zombies in general.
Zombies in general.
Maybe.
That's kind of vague.
That's
I
like a
don't
team.
think
That's
so.
like a team entry.
Right. Yeah. I think
what?
We also nominated some props from The Thing for the Hall of Fame, or we'll nominate props
we'll get to
every
that.
movie.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, Hero Hall of Fame. What do we? Who? We got two heroes.
The only one that scratches the level would be Peter in this one. Maybe Roger. But those are the only two in my book that would be in the running for, I'd build a team around these guys.
Okay, but
Fran's pretty strong.
She is.
I don't think she's Hall of Fame worthy.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think any of them.
I don't think Peter's Hall of Fame.
I don't think Peter's Hall either.
No, he's a supporting. Yeah.
I will retract my statement on McCready
McCready's
not
dope,
being
though.
Hall of Fame. I think
I
she's
like
Hall of Fame.
McCready's awesome though.
Yeah. Okay, so
even though he's a thing. Wait, what?
Pick 3 props. 3 props.
3 props. All right, I'm gonna do it before anybody else does. The arm stuck in the blood pressure machine.
Yep,
That
I'm
whole
with you.
setup.
Yep.
Are we doing all 3 at once?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just throw some stuff out there.
I'm going to type them down so that we have them.
So we have
okay. You,
so Mike's doing work here.
Right.
What do you take? One?
I'm going to say, the sidecar motorcycle. I mean, that was kind of cool.
Sidecar motorcycle. How about Mike referenced this earlier, but the arcade game, even though I thought it was trash looking.
It was trash.
the race car arcade game was. Oh, I'm scratching the wheelbarrow. I'll take the wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Okay. The stacks of cash, maybe, but that's kind of generic.
It could be anywhere.
It could be from any movie, any number of movie. This one really didn't have. I mean, there were some prosthetics. There were
maybe a can of Iron City beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, something from this movie needs to go in, but I just don't know what.
I say
the weapons are not iconic.
No, there's nothing really unique about them.
You know, the helicopter is a helicopter.
No costumes that are really.
There's no.
Steven's leather jacket was pretty nice.
That was cool.
But it's kind of generic. Yeah. I couldn't pick it out of a lineup.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But I say
jumpsuits.
The blood pressure machine with the arm in it.
I mean,
a cream pie.
That's the other podcast.
One of the one of the seltzer bottle.
Right.
No, I said the blood pressure cuff machine with the arm in it. if I had a museum, I would put that in, and I would know instantly.
Most recognizable still from this movie. What do you think, guys? Like, just still image. Would you say when Roger first wakes up?
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I remember that being used, and maybe it was like later. The original movie poster had like one of the zombies on it, but I think later the VHS. Like my mom working in the video store. I think Peter was on. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just false memory and all that kind of stuff. But I think Peter was on. Final thoughts. What do you think? Worth your time?
Definitely worth my time. Even though zombies are not my favorite genre, it was definitely worth my time. I enjoyed watching this movie a second time to take notes for the pod. I have a few other notes. If you
all right, what you got?
So I can just run them off real quick. Let's see. The Monroeville Mall near Pittsburgh is still operational and is home to the Living Dead Museum, a visual history of zombies in cinema and pop culture.
Guess we're
road
going.
trip.
Yeah, includes props, memorabilia, interactive experiences, and zombie gift shopping.
Nice. How did I not know that? I need to go there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and then the Pittsburgh Mall.
Yeah. One of my other favorite tidbits about this movie, Quentin Tarantino lied about being in Dawn of the Dead on his acting resume when he was trying to get into acting, which apparently was a common practice before things like IMDb. If you go on YouTube, Tarantino has many videos where he does Tarantino on zombie movies. He does Tarantino on William Friedkin movies, Tarantino on this genre, Tarantino on this director. He he does all this I mean, he's the cinephile.
He's pretty shy and he doesn't like to talk much.
So he mentioned that he lied on his resume when he's getting into acting about being in this movie and in one other movie, but you could not lie on your resume about any speaking roles, because if you speak in a movie, you get a SAG card, a Screen Actors Guild card, which they can cross-reference and check and see that you're lying. So he picked, as you mentioned earlier, Charlie, the guy in the sidecar of the motorcycle is who he claimed to be.
Nothing like him.
And he said he had the same hairstyle at that point in time in 1978.
Oh my God.
He was and then he was working at the video store and he was trying to sell his buddies on the fact that he was in this movie.
Uncredited,
and they're like,
of course.
he looks nothing like you. And he's like, well, if it's on my resume, if I got to sell it to people that want to hire me, I got to be able to sell it to my stupid friends in this video store.
Right.
And so he's trying to sell that he was in this movie and it looks nothing like you. And it's it's makeup. That's me.
And makeup.
And until he thinks they finally eventually bought it, or they just stopped pestering him about it. But, kind of pretty cool that he, that it was common practice back then to just put yourself down on your resume like an awesome movie, but some stupid part that you're like, oh yeah, it's me in the background over there. And,
yeah, I'm the waiter in The Godfather.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so it's time to wrap this one up and talk about our next host and his pick, Justin.
Yeah, I did have a lot of fun with this one. This was a fun one to do, this Dawn of the Dead. Still like the remake a little more. Sorry, guys. But my pick for the next one is actually the first horror movie that I remember seeing as a kid when I was, free-range child, I guess. I think I was 5 or 6 years old. It was Nightmare on Elm Street. We will do Nightmare on Elm Street.
You saw this at 5?
I saw this.
Oh my God.
I remember we were at...
I can't imagine showing this to Teddy.
Right. Kids aren't... They're not made for the streets nowadays.
No, that's why they're sidewalks.
Right. No, but yeah, it was 5 or 6. We were over at an aunt's house, and I think we were sleeping on the couch kind of thing, and just put it on. And
did it mess you up? Do you remember?
It was scary. Yeah, it was quite scary.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna save some for the cast, of course, but yeah, watching a movie where you can't fall asleep right before you're supposed to fall asleep is not a good plan for a little kid.
Explains a lot about you.
Yeah,
explains a lot. Okay,
I can't wait for that one. Love Nightmare.
All right, let's sign out. See you guys next time.
Yeah. Andy, take us home.
This is the end.